What happened with me with this film? So I accepted the film and I was really excited to take this, and I loved the idea, and I was reading it, and I gotten probably 2 weeks into my preparation for the film, and my father was diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, first it stunned me, and then it was the magical work of the universe. I could not believe that this was the film I was working on, and I was, forced to face, my father's mortality. So it was rough for about a week, and I got it together, and I decided that we would use the process of the character who was suffering a loss, and I would share my preparation with my father. And so we just started talking about love, time, and death. And it was some of the most open and powerful conversations that we'd ever had. And they gave him 6 weeks, and he lived for 4 months. So about 3 months into the 6 weeks, I go to see him one day, and he said, "Man, this shit is embarrassing." And I said, "What, Dad?" He said, "Man, you tell everybody you gonna be dead in 6 weeks. 3 months later, you still hanging around."
Miss that, Dad.
Yeah, I know, right? But it was so beautiful, and we got to a place that we were talking open and comedically, and really, I think I was able to embody the ideas of the loss and also the redemptive quality of the pain. The loss is bound to joy. Like pain and suffering are bound to joy. The being able to survive something is actually a big part of being able to find that next wave of joy. You appreciate smaller things, right? Like, it was so magnificent for me. My father died on November 7th. But it was so powerful for me to be cleansed of box office. Like, I don't need the box office to be huge on this film. I don't need to win any awards. I don't care. It was the film that I worked on that I was actually able to comfortably and beautifully say goodbye to my father. And I hope that this film embodies a bit of that, so other people who are experiencing things like that will be able to use it in that way, and it can potentially be helpful and help someone else. So it was powerful to be cleansed of the foolishness of the game of numbers and awards and all of that type of stuff, to actually be able to create a piece of art that legitimately I just want people to see and hope it can be helpful and transformative in their lives.
You're talking about perspective.
Perspective, absolutely, yes. Yes.
How much does fear play into preventing us from grasping perspective, though?
Oh no, fear is everything. Yeah, like if there was one concept that I would suggest to people to take a daily confrontation with, is fear. The problem with fear is that it lies, right? So fear tells you, hey, if you say that to that girl, she's gonna know she has you, and she'll never really be attracted to you if she knows how much you attracted to her. Yeah. Don't say that. No, how we get her is when she walks by, ignore her.
Right, it's
it's like
pop it on your shoulder.
Fear tells you dumb shit like that, right? So for me, the daily confrontation with fear has become a real practice for me since about three years ago. I went skydiving in Dubai, right? And skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear, right? So I gotta stand up. I'm sorry, I gotta stand up. All right. So All your friends, what happens, you go out, I dropped my thing. Yeah. So what happens is you go out the night before and you take a drink with your friends and somebody says, yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow. And you go, yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow, yeah, and you go, yeah, and everybody goes, yeah, right? And you go home and you by yourself, you're like, right? You're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. Right, so maybe they not, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go, we don't have to do it. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified, you keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane and you can't figure out why you would do that, right? And you're laying there and you have the worst night's sleep of your life, but you still have the hope that your friends were drunk, right? So you wake up the next day and you go, down and you say where you were going to meet and everybody's there. You're like, oh, shit. All right, cool. Right? So you get in the van and you don't know that your friends had the same night that you had because they're pretending like they didn't. They're like, yeah, man, my uncle's a Navy SEAL and, this is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this. And you're like, oh, my God. And your stomach is terrible. You can't eat and everything, but you don't want to be the only punk who doesn't jump out of this airplane. So you get there, and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys will tell you, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is why the hell, what could happen? That the chute wouldn't open, right? So you do a thing, and what you do is your first jump, you're attached to a guy who is going, he's going to walk you out. So you go, and you get there, and there's an airplane, and nobody's stopping. Everybody's still going. So you get onto the airplane and you're sitting there and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger. You're sitting on his lap and it's like, you trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? Right? So, and then you just want to make sure, you got kids, right? You got people you need to see, right? You just want to make sure he's serious, right? So you get in there, so everything's normal. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red and it's yellow and green, right? So right now the light's red. So then you start thinking at some point the light's going to go green, but you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait and it goes yellow and the light goes green and somebody opens the door, and in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Right? Terror. Oh, sorry, I'm spitting. Oh, sorry. No, terror, right? So you go, and then, if you were smart, you sat in the back so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane. And you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing, and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. And they say, on 3. And they say, 1, 2. And he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3, right? Right? And you go, and you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying, right? It doesn't feel like falling, right? It's like you actually are kind of held a little bit by the wind, and then you start falling, and there's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. It's bliss. It's bliss. And you're flying. Right? And you're doing that. And then 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds. And you have enough time to just kind of be like, oh, shit, that's that building. That's not like that one. Oh, you can see the ocean. Right? You start doing all of that. And the lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life. You know? So that was sorry. So that was,
no, it's good.
That was my experience with skydiving and fear.
All right.
All right.
So practically speaking.
But I didn't like that take. I'm going to do it again. Back to the top. I can sell that better. Oh, no.
When you decide to do something like that, like how does it work practically? Do you call your wife and be like, I might be dead tomorrow?
Right. No, but that's.
But I made a drunk promise.
Yeah, I made a drunk promise. Yeah. How about this? So I jumped. I had such a mystical, powerful spiritual experience. I flew home and got my sons, and I went back, and 10 days later, my sons jumped, right?
Yeah.
Now that was a little different. Oh, let's see, that makes me stand up, right? Because I'm scared, right? So it was so Jaden went first, right? Jaden wants to do everything first. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, my sons are gonna have this crazy experience. And then Jaden went out of the airplane. And I was like, Then my oldest son, Trey, goes up and he goes out of the airplane. And I was like, this could potentially be the worst display of African-American parenting in history. Right? I was like, both my sons just fell out of an airplane.
Jump.
Right? Jump. Right? Because I told them to. But again, the fear again. I was like, oh my God. So I told the dude, I was like, listen, I want to see them go out, but I also want to see them land. And he's like, no, it's cool. So this time we went out and we did the straight bullet, and I just went straight down past them. Right? I was like, and he's like, good. Right, did the bullet straight past, pulled the chute late. Oh, sorry, it makes me spit. I'm sorry. Pulled the chute late, landed, and then videoed them coming down. But it was like, they had the same thing, the same experience with the fear. But that I'm telling you, the confrontation with fear is an absolute magical way of facing the things we have to do in this life. You know, forget security, live for experience.
All right. Now, you say you learned that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. What about these small things that we get afraid about, right? So you are the funny guy, and you come along and everybody expects to be entertained in summertime, right? Like, are you ever afraid that you're like, you know what, today I'm really not feeling jazzy Jeff. Like I'm just, I don't want to be that guy today. So this whole movie, you were not that guy.
Not that guy, right, yeah.
Do you have fear of that, of like disappointing people? Because like, you're supposed to be funny and cool.
Yeah, you know, the thing that's been one of the major confronts for me in my life over the past 3 or 4 years. Like, Will Smith is an idea, right? So there's parts of that that's me, but that character from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was who I was 26 years ago.
You see,
they love it, right? Exactly.
You people are this man's crack. Okay? He's talking about evolving, like moving on, and you're like, Fresh Prince! That's what we want to hear about!
You know, so but that's the thing, to be able to boldly be able to move and grow and create and hope that the things that I'm able to deliver at this point. I was 20 doing the Fresh Prince, so I'm 48 now. So it's a really different time in my life. Yeah, that got less of a cheer. Yeah, like woo!
They're like, tell us what that's like.
Yeah, no, right, yeah. Yes, girls, yes. But yeah, it's.
So do you have a fear of being completely who you are? Because it may disappoint some people who just want to see that 28-year-old.
Yeah, no, I definitely have difficulty with that. There's a certain, when you've created things that are so iconic, it becomes healing for people. Nostalgia is healing. To the Fresh Prince theme is healing to hear that, and it just harkens back to a time and a feeling and an energy, that is a beautiful way to help relieve some little touch of suffering, So when people see me or the Fresh Prince, and even during that time, the movies that I made while I was making the Fresh Prince, so it was the Fresh Prince during the winter, and then the summers were Bad Boys, Independence Day, Men in Black, So it was like it really captured a time. So it's very difficult. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love being able to make people smile and cheer, over that. But I also am going to boldly go to new creation. Even something like the decision. I had the two screenplays in front of me for the Independence Day 2 and for Suicide Squad. So I had to choose between the two of those. And even the choice of going to Suicide Squad, nothing about the qualities of the movies, but the choice of trying to go forward versus clinging and clawing backwards, So I do want to aggressively go forward and do new things and create and hopefully be able to stumble upon a new heyday.
Amazing. Now you have an incredible cast.
Oh God, yes.
In this movie. How does that happen too? Like, how do so many big stars decide, this? And then how does that work between you all?
It's the ideas, the screenplay. Alan Loeb, the screenwriter, he just wrote a brilliant screenplay. Everyone related to the ideas of love, time, and death as powerful tools to try to put your life back on track. So everyone related to the journey. But I mean, look at that group. That's like
ridiculous.
That's like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did your father get to see any of it?
No, he came to set once, but he didn't get to see the film.
And y'all were close?
Yeah, we were very close. Yeah. My father. When I put my life together and I look at my father, my mother, and grandmother were the most influential people in my life. And in my mind, when I draw it, I always draw a triangle. And my father was the base, and my mother was the left side, and my grandmother was the right side. And I always put discipline as the bottom. My father, hard work, discipline, endurance was really the foundation of creating my life. And my mother was education, and my grandmother was love. So, the combination of that discipline, education, and love was a...
You know what? I'm really grateful for you sharing with us that part of you, and also the struggle with his death, because the other thing is that we live in a time where people show these curated sides of them.
Right.
Because I think of the same fear.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to be this piece.
Absolutely.
Not all the rest of it, but you struggle.
Nobody wants to hear all of that, It's Facebook. Come on, let's have fun.
No.
Yeah.
So
dude, it's a bummer your dad's gone.
Nobody here speaks like that, right?
You're like, oh, come on, brother. It's a bummer your father's gone. No, but, for me, laughing is the elixir, and that was another thing that my father taught me. He was joking all the way up to the end. Like, laughing, you have to be able to laugh at everything. And for me, the beautiful part is that's my natural color on the spectrum. I naturally go to comedy, and when I'm looking at something, I'm always trying to find why that's funny. And it's been really, really helpful in this experience, and even just this point in my life. Remember to laugh, and spend time with people that make you laugh. Like, that is hugely important.
Laugh and connect.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are good messages.
Yeah, I love this idea. It's a guy trying to put his life back together, and he just gets furious and rants and writes letters to love, time, and death. and then love, time, and death respond. You know, so it's you know, a really, that beautiful Christmas flavor was, you know, just a little touch outside of reality, you know, so you get to deal with real subjects and real topics and real loss, but because it touches just that New York Christmas just a little bit outside of the, you know, how excruciating it would be if you dealt with it, you know, straight, hard, rated R, loss, you know. So I just love going into that realm of the mystical, to be able to take a good look at you know, real human issues.
Mm-hmm. So you talk about real. Mm-hmm. I felt it was the most real I had seen you be.
Really?
Yeah, like I felt there was no filter there.
Yeah.
And I wondered, for somebody who could choose to do anything,
yeah,
was there something special that drove you to this?
Yeah, you know, when I first read it, you know, when I first read it, every once in a while you know, you read a screenplay, and the most important thing in a movie, I guess the two most important things that I look for is, one is the universally relatable concept, right? So just at its core, when you first say it, when you say one line about it, can you connect to people? You know, and one of the best ones I've ever had, like something with like I Am Legend, the last man on earth. Yeah. Security, you'll keep an eye on this section right here. You know, but it's like when you just have that one thing, you know. And with this, it was a little bit heavier, but it was a guy trying to put his life back together after an extreme loss. Right, so people can relate to that. That's an extremely relatable idea. And then I flip to the last 10 pages and the ending. It's like, you know, this is a movie that has lots of twists and turns, but then even within the last 10 pages, there's still another surprise. When you can send people out of a movie theater with another surprise, you know, and, you know, so, I mean, historically, you know, there's been times I've sent people out of the movie theater, and the surprise in the last 10 minutes is that the movie wasn't good, right? So you want to avoid that surprise. You want to avoid that one. You know, but with this one, it had such an interesting turn in the end of it. It was you know, one of the most fun screenplays I've ever read.
Why are you doing movies at all still? Like, you're rich.
Yeah.
You could, as we say, cock up your foot and rock back.
Cock up my foot and rock back.
Yeah.
I love that.
Why,
that's just
like,
fantastic.
what is getting you out of bed to still go and do this thing?
You know, I enjoy connecting with people and ideas, and, you know, I have a mission statement. So every year for probably the past 10 years, I've worked out a mission statement for myself. And for the last few years, the mission statement has stayed the same. And it's been improve lives, right? So when I go into something, I'm looking for how the quality of this piece could potentially improve lives. But it's all along the way. It's when you make the movie and how you're interacting with people in the process. And, you know, the concept of improving lives runs through the center of everything I do. And then I realized that the way to improve lives is to continually improve yourself, right? So with that, every morning when I get out of the bed, you know, I haven't fixed everything in the world yet, so there's always something to do. And in this film, I read an interesting quote for the Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. He said that good people have to get out of the bed every day and try to empty the ocean with a ladle, right? And I thought that was, you know, I knew that was profound, and I paused for a second, and I said, all right, what the hell is a ladle, right? Right, so then, you know, I touched it on my iPad, it's ladle. Oh, it's like a big spoon, okay.
As we
it's
say,
like a
Philly.
soup spoon, yeah, it's like a soup spoon. I was like, why do you use a soup spoon? So trying to empty the ocean with a soup spoon, you know, as the mentality of how you wake up every day to try to do good in the world. So for me, I'm really driven by continually trying to elevate my mind and elevate my spirit and care for my body, and to be able to love as many people as effectively as possible with this mystery of life that I've been given.